There are moments in life when healing begins quietly, without your permission, without your understanding. This Friday, 10th October, will be one of those moments. You will not see it coming. You may not even feel it at first, but something deep within you will begin to shift. Something tired will start to rest. Something broken will start to breathe again. The kind of healing that doesn't make sense to the mind always makes sense to the soul. You don't have to understand it. You just have to allow it. This Friday is not about forcing change. It's about recognizing that the healing you've been waiting for has already started. Every struggle you've been through, every tear that burned quietly in your chest, every night that left you empty, none of it was for nothing. Life has been preparing you for this softness. You have been shaped by storms, not to remain shattered, but to learn how to grow from the cracks. The heart heals in silence, in patience, in moments that look ordinary but carry sacred energy. Tender October will not bring a loud miracle. It will bring a subtle one. Maybe you will wake up lighter without knowing why. Maybe someone's words will touch something in you that has been frozen for years. Or maybe you will simply realize that the pain that once ruled your thoughts no longer holds the same power. This is how healing arrives, unannounced, unexplainable, but undeniable. When you stop demanding that life makes sense, you start to feel its truth. Healing doesn't need your logic, it needs your trust. The mind will always try to understand, but the heart simply remembers. It remembers the strength it had to keep going when everything fell apart. It remembers that no wound can destroy the will to grow. And on this Friday, your heart will remember what peace feels like. Do not fight the process. Do not rush it. Healing is not something you do. It's something you allow. It's like watching the sunrise after a long night. You don't need to command the light. You just need to stay awake to see it. The same applies to your soul. It knows the way home. It knows how to heal when you stop standing in the way. This Friday, slow down, breathe deeper. Listen to what you've been avoiding. The universe doesn't heal what you hide. It heals what you face with honesty. Sometimes the most powerful act is simply to sit in silence and say, I'm ready to let this go. You don't need to understand what this is. The energy of release will find the pain that is ready to dissolve. You have carried too much for too long. Expectations, guilt, memories that no longer belong to this version of you. 10th of October will bring a gentle reminder that you are allowed to start over. You are allowed to heal without proving that you deserve it. Healing is not earned, it is accepted. Every breath, every small act of kindness toward yourself is proof that you are already transforming. When healing begins, it doesn't always feel good. It can feel like confusion, exhaustion, or emotional emptiness. That's because the old version of you is being dismantled. The patterns that once protected you are no longer needed. This is not loss, this is rebirth. Allow the discomfort of change. Allow the emptiness to teach you that you no longer need to fill every silence with noise. That silence is the sound of your heart mending itself. This Friday will hold space for that. It will hold space for quiet healing, for invisible growth, for the kind of peace that doesn't need attention. You don't need to explain your transformation to anyone. You don't need others to see what is happening inside you. Healing is not a performance, it is a private awakening. Life has its own intelligence. The same force that causes flowers to bloom and waves to rise is the same force that heals your spirit. You are part of that rhythm. You don't control it, you align with it. This is the lesson of 10th October, that the more you surrender, the more life restores you. So stop searching for what's wrong with you. Start noticing what's right. You are healing even when you feel uncertain. You are becoming softer, wiser, more grounded with every breath. Healing doesn't erase your past, it transforms your relationship with it. It allows you to look at what once broke you and say, I survived that. I grew from that. And now I rise from that. This Friday, something unseen will move within you. Maybe it's forgiveness, maybe it's release, maybe it's the quiet realization that you no longer need to carry every story of pain. Whatever it is, it will feel like a lifted from your chest, like the first clear breath after drowning in emotion. You don't need to explain your healing. You only need to live it. The people who truly see you will notice the calm returning to your eyes, the steadiness in your voice, the new way you carry yourself, not with pride, but with peace. That's what this Friday is. Bring a new tone of life, a new depth of stillness. On the 10th of October, let your heart breathe. Let it remember that every ending was a doorway to beginning again. Let it be quiet, and in that quiet, let it heal. Because healing doesn't always announce itself, it just happens slowly, gently, beautifully, until one day you wake up and realize that you are no longer broken, you are becoming whole again. And that in itself is a miracle you never have to explain. Pain only stays when you keep it close. It survives because you feed it, protect it, and let it define you. This Friday, 10th of October, will bring a moment where life invites you to stop holding your pain hostage. It's time to stop carrying what no longer belongs to you. Every scar, every memory, every disappointment that you keep replaying. These are not your identity. They are experiences, not definitions. When you stop clinging to them, healing begins to breathe again. On the 10th of October, the universe will remind you that you are not your wounds. You are the awareness behind them. You are the strength that kept walking when your heart was heavy. Yet most people mistake pain for truth. They wear it like armor, thinking it protects them from being hurt again. But that armor becomes a prison. It blocks love, peace, and connection. When you stop protecting your pain, life can finally touch you again. This Friday will test your willingness to release, not by force, but by choice. There is a moment when you will feel that holding on no longer makes sense. You'll feel tired of reliving the same emotions, tired of explaining the same story, tired of being the victim of your own memories. That moment is sacred. It's the space where healing begins. Let it happen. Don't resist it. You have to understand that pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It came to show you where you still hold resistance, where you still fear your own truth. But once you've learned the lesson, there is no reason to carry the weight any longer. On the 10th of October, you will be asked to set it down. You don't have to forget what happened. You just have to stop feeding it with attention. Letting go doesn't mean erasing your past. It means refusing to let the past control your future. It means standing in front of your own reflection and saying, I choose to be free. The moment you do that, the energy inside you shifts. You will feel lighter, clearer, more present. Pain loses its power when you stop identifying with it. This Friday will bring awareness to that truth. You may notice emotions rising to the surface. Old anger, guilt, regret, heartbreak. Don't fight them. Let them rise and dissolve. You don't heal by suppressing emotion. You heal by allowing it to pass through you without attachment. Feel it fully, then let it go. The heart is meant to feel, not to hold. Every time you replay your pain, you keep the wound open. You feed it with attention. And attention is energy. Where your attention goes, your life flows. So when you give energy to your suffering, you unknowingly keep yourself trapped in it. But when you choose to focus on healing, on peace, on release, your energy shifts to creation, not survival. That shift will happen on the 10th of October if you allow it. Life doesn't want you to keep suffering. It wants you to awaken. Pain was never meant to define you. It was meant to awaken you. There comes a point where the lesson is complete. You will feel that moment this Friday. It will whisper to you quietly, Asa, it's time to stop holding this. That whisper is your turning point. Don't ignore it. When you stop holding pain hostage, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of your story and start becoming the author of your healing. The past cannot touch you unless you invite it in. This is not about pretending nothing happened. It's about refusing to let it dominate your present moment. You deserve peace more than you deserve explanation. 10th October is the day to forgive yourself, not because you did something wrong, but because you've carried the burden for too long. You've tried to make sense of why things happened, and that search for answers has kept you chained to old energy. Healing begins when you stop needing every wound to have a reason. You don't have to understand pain to release it. You just have to trust that it no longer serves you. This Friday, take one deep breath and decide that your heart will no longer be a storage room for suffering. You've learned enough from it. You've grown through it. Now it's time to make space for something new. When you let go of pain, you create space for peace to enter. And peace doesn't arrive with noise, it arrives with silence. It comes when you stop fighting life and start allowing it. You might notice that as you release, emotions will try to come back. They will test your strength. But this time, you will not hold them. You will simply watch them fade. You will realize that you are bigger than what hurt you. That realization is freedom. That's what 10 October wants to show you, that freedom doesn't come from fixing pain, but from no longer giving it power. You will wake up that morning with a choice. The choice to repeat the same emotional story or to write a new one. Choose release. Choose softness. Choose to stop identifying with what broke you. Every time you let go, you make room for healing. And every time you hold on, you make room for suffering. You decide what fills your heart. On the 10th of October, let life meet you halfway. Don't run from what rises inside you, but don't cling to it either. Observe it, breathe through it, and then let it go like smoke disappearing into the sky. That's how healing begins, when you no longer try to control the fire, but allow it to burn away what no longer belongs to you. This Friday will not demand strength from you. It will demand surrender. It will ask you to stop holding your pain hostage and finally set yourself free. You will feel the air move differently, lighter, softer, almost as if your soul can breathe again. That breath is healing. That peace is proof that the wound no longer owns you. You are free, and that freedom will become the quiet miracle of this Friday, 10th October. When the heart is tired, words lose their meaning. This Friday, 10th October, will remind you that silence often carries the answers you've been chasing for years. Stillness is not emptiness. It is presence. It is awareness. It is the space where healing begins to move without noise. You do not always need to speak to heal. You do not always need to understand to grow. Sometimes the most powerful transformation happens in silence, when you finally stop running from yourself. 10th October will arrive not to fill your life with new noise, but to quiet the chaos that has been stealing your peace. It will be a day to slow down, to breathe deeper, and to listen to what your soul has been trying to say. The world teaches you to react, to speak, to explain, but healing begins when you stop explaining and start feeling. In stillness, you begin to hear the truth beneath all the thoughts. That truth does not scream. It whispers. You've been searching for healing in movement, in distraction, in endless thinking. But this Friday, life will show you that peace doesn't come from doing more. It comes from being more present. Stillness does not mean nothing is happening. It means everything is happening inside you. The energy that once rushed outward begins to flow inward. It rebuilds your center. It aligns your mind and your body. It restores your strength from the inside out. This Friday will teach you to sit with yourself without trying to escape, to listen to your breath, to your heartbeat, to the rhythm of life moving quietly through you. When you stop feeling the silence begins to fill you with clarity, with calm, with truth. The answers you've been searching for will not come from thinking harder. They will come when you stop forcing them to appear. The truth reveals itself when the noise stops. Stillness is not laziness. It is strength under control. It is learning how to respond, not react. When you are still, you begin to see your emotions for what they are. Temporary waves, not permanent storms. This Friday, you will feel those waves rise and fall inside you. Do not fight them. Watch them. The more you observe, the less they control you. This is how you begin to heal, by no longer being dragged by what you feel, but by learning to stand within it. A tender October is not about loud breakthroughs, it's about quiet realizations. You will notice that silence begins to soothe what words could never fix. You will realize that peace was never lost, it was only hidden beneath too much noise. When you become still, you return to that place of peace. You return home to yourself. There is great power in simply pausing. When you pause, you step outside the constant movement of thoughts. You stop chasing outcomes. You stop fighting against what is. In that pause, healing begins. This Friday, take a moment to be silent, not just around you, but within you. Let the mind rest. Let the heart breathe. Let the body relax. The more you resist stillness, the louder your suffering becomes. The moment you surrender to it, peace returns. Silence is a mirror. It shows you everything that noise tries to hide. In silence, you will face yourself. You will see your fears, your hopes, your truth. And in that reflection, you will understand that nothing outside you needs to change for you to feel calm. Calmness is not something you find. It's something you create by choosing not to let chaos in. This Friday, create that space. Choose quiet over noise. Choose stillness over reaction. Tender October will carry a certain calm energy. The world will still move fast, but you will notice that you don't have to move with it. You can walk slowly, breathe deeply, think clearly. You can move with intention, not impulse. You will begin to feel the difference between living in reaction and living in awareness. The more you practice stillness, the more control you gain, not over others, but over yourself. When you become still, you realize that most pain is not caused by what happens to you, but by how you think about it. Stillness separates truth from thought. It shows you that you are not your emotions, you are the space in which they appear. You are not the pain, you are the awareness of it. And awareness can heal anything it touches. This Friday will give you that awareness. It will give you the strength to watch without judgment, to breathe without resistance, to let peace flow through you again. Stillness teaches humility. It reminds you that you don't need to control everything. You don't need to know every answer. You just need to be here fully, honestly, quietly. When you stop trying to fix every detail, life begins to correct itself. Healing doesn't happen when you push, it happens when you allow. And allowing requires silence. This Friday, let silence become your medicine. Sit alone for a while. Put down your phone, turn off the noise, close your eyes, listen to the sound of your breath, feel your heart beating without effort. Notice that even without doing anything, you are alive, complete and whole. You don't need to chase peace. It's already within you, waiting for you to stop and notice it. In this stillness, something powerful will unfold. The tension you've been carrying will begin to loosen. The mind that never stops talking will begin to quiet. And in that quiet, you will feel the presence of life itself, a soft, healing force that asks for nothing but your awareness. This is the gift of tender October. A return to simplicity, a return to yourself. So let this Friday be the day you stop searching and start listening. Let it be the day you stop speaking over your own truth. The answers you seek are already inside you, but you can only hear them in silence. You can only feel them when you are still. And when you reach that stillness, you will understand that peace was never something you had to earn. It was always there, waiting for you to be quiet enough to feel it. This Friday, 10th of October, will not come to comfort what is weak. It will come to break it open. It will come to show that what falls apart inside you is not your end. It is your beginning. The universe never destroys what is true. It only breaks what is false. And the pain you feel when things collapse is not punishment. It is the sound of what no longer serves you living your life. You must learn to stop fearing the breakage. The breaking is how the light enters. You have been holding yourself together for too long. Holding emotions, holding expectations, holding identities that no longer fit the person you are becoming. Life cannot build something new in hands that refuse to release the old. This Friday, life will test that. It will show you something that needs to fall apart. It could be a belief, a relationship, a routine, or a way of thinking. Whatever it is, it will feel like loss. But beneath that loss is liberation. You cannot heal by avoiding pain. You heal by moving through it. The universe heals through breakage, not through comfort. When a seed breaks open, it doesn't die, it grows. The same happens to you. The moment you allow the old shell of yourself to crack, life begins to breathe again. Pain is not the enemy. Resistance is. The more you fight the breaking, the longer you stay trapped in what was meant to end. This Friday, 10th October, will be a mirror. It will show you what you are still holding onto, what still controls your emotions, what still keeps your energy stuck in the past. The lesson will be simple. What refuses to change will continue to hurt. You can either keep patching the same cracks, or you can allow everything to fall so something honest can rise. That is how the universe heals you. It removes everything that blocks your truth. When something breaks, you see what it was made of. The same happens when life breaks you. You begin to see your core. You see your strength, your patience, your capacity to rebuild. What remains after destruction is what was always real. This is what 10th October is bringing, a chance to see your truth raw and uncovered. It may not be comfortable, but it will be real. And real is what heals. Sometimes the things you think are protecting you are actually imprisoning you. Your comfort zone, your routines, your familiar sadness, they keep you safe, but they also keep you small. When life begins to break those walls, don't panic. Let it happen. Let what is unstable fall. Let what is weak crumble. What survives will be unshakable. This is how you grow beyond the version of yourself that has already served its purpose. This Friday, something inside you will shift. It may begin as discomfort, maybe even pain, but if you stay still and aware, you'll realize it's not something breaking you. It's something breaking deep for you. Life is removing everything that's too small for your next chapter. Every ending will reveal an opening. Every collapse will reveal a new strength. You are not meant to remain the same. Growth demands destruction. You cannot build new walls on old foundations. So when life shakes your ground, it's not trying to destroy you. It's preparing you to stand stronger. On the 10th of October, you may feel the tremors of that change. Do not resist. Trust that what is falling away is not yours to keep. There's a quiet wisdom in loss. It teaches you detachment. It teaches you trust. It teaches you that control is an illusion. The moment you stop trying to hold everything together, you begin to see how everything naturally falls into place. You begin to see that breaking doesn't mean broken. It means transformation. This Friday will be your invitation to transform, to stop asking why something ended and start asking what it's making room for. The universe never takes without giving. The space that opens after something collapses is where new life begins. Do not fill that space with fear. Fill it with patience, with awareness, with readiness for what's coming next. You may feel lost for a moment. That's normal. Every soul that evolves walks through emptiness before finding light again. But remember, the emptiness after breaking is not emptiness at all. It is potential. It is space. It is the soil where new strength will grow. Don't rush to replace what fell. Let the ground rest. Let silence rebuild you. 10th October will carry an energy of truth. And truth often feels like breaking before it feels like peace. But once the storm passes, you will see clearly what stayed standing. You will see what was real enough to survive. You will realize that the pain didn't destroy you. It refined you. It burned away what was false. It revealed what was pure. Every broken piece of you holds wisdom. Every scar holds proof that you can endure. Every ending carries the seed of beginning. This Friday will remind you that your power is not in avoiding what breaks, but in allowing yourself to rebuild stronger, wiser, and softer all at once. You are not fragile, you are evolving. When life breaks something, it is showing you where truth must enter. When it removes something, it is teaching you what you no longer need. When it shakes you, it is calling you to wake up. This Friday, 10th October, will be a reminder that the cracks are not your weakness. They are your invitation to become whole again. So let it break, let it fall apart, let it end. Stop trying to fix what life has already released. Stop protecting what was only meant to teach you. Allow yourself to feel the collapse, then allow yourself to rise. That rising will be quiet but powerful. It will not need applause because the peace that follows will be its own reward. This Friday, remember what is breaking is not your life. It is your illusion. The universe heals through the breaking. It tears down the false so the real can finally breathe. You don't need to understand the process. You only need to trust it. Let 10th October be the day you stop resisting the cracks and start seeing them for what they truly are. The beginning of your healing. Forgiveness is not about others. It is about freeing yourself from the weight that has kept your heart chained for too long. This Friday, 10th of October, will bring a lesson that cuts deep, that you cannot heal fully while you are still holding on to blame. You cannot walk freely while your heart still carries the heaviness of resentment. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength beyond emotion. It is the act of releasing yourself from the past and allowing your spirit to breathe again. On the 10th October, life will remind you that the pain you hold against someone else does not belong to them anymore. It belongs to you. Every time you replay what they did, you reopen the wound. Every time you hold the anger close, you poison your own peace. The person who hurt you may have forgotten, moved on, or disappeared, but you are still carrying their shadow. Forgiveness is the way you finally let go of that shadow. It is not about saying that what happened was right. It is about saying that it no longer controls you. This Friday will be the day to look inward and realize that holding anger does not protect you. It imprisons you. You've carried these stories long enough. The weight of what happened has lived in your chest for years, shaping your thoughts, shaping your decisions, shaping the way you see yourself. But what if that pain was never meant to stay? What if it came only to teach you something about your own strength? Forgiveness is how you take that lesson and set yourself free. When you forgive, you are not saying, "I forget." You are saying, "I remember, but I choose peace instead." That choice changes everything. It shifts your energy from reaction to creation. It moves your focus from what broke you to what builds you. This Friday, 10th October, will ask you to make that shift. It will not ask you to pretend. It will ask you to release. There is a difference. Pretending hides pain. Releasing transforms it. Sometimes forgiveness must start with yourself. The things you didn't do, the mistakes you made, the words you regret, they still live somewhere inside you, quietly asking to be forgiven. You can't demand peace while punishing yourself for being human. You did what you could with what you knew. Now it's time to let go. On the 10th of October, allow yourself to breathe without guilt. Allow yourself to look at your reflection and say, "I'm no longer at war with myself." That is where true healing begins. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it erases its control over you. The moment you forgive, you remove the chain that connects your heart to the memory of pain. You begin to reclaim your energy, your joy, your clarity. You start to see that every wound carried wisdom, that every betrayal carried a hidden blessing. The lesson of letting go. This Friday, 10th October, life will whisper that lesson again. It will show you someone or something that still lives inside your memory with pain. And it will ask, are you ready to let it go? When you hold on to anger, you give power to the past. But when you forgive, you reclaim your present. Forgiveness is not about the other person changing. It is about you deciding that peace is more important than revenge. It is about understanding that freedom cannot exist where resentment lives. The heart was never designed to carry so much weight. It was designed to flow, to love, to feel deeply and then release. 10th October will open a door inside you, the door between your pain and your peace. You can keep guarding that pain, or you can step through and start new. Every time you release someone from blame, you also release yourself from suffering. You stop feeding the fire that burns inside you. The flame of anger dies when there is no more fuel to keep it alive. Forgiveness is the moment you stop feeding it. Sometimes the person you need to forgive will never apologize. They will never see what they did. But that doesn't mean you must keep suffering. Their blindness doesn't have to become your burden. Forgive anyway, not for them, but for you. Because peace is not a gift from others, it's a decision you give to yourself. This Friday, 10th October, decide that your peace matters more than your pride. You have carried stories of pain long enough. They have taught you all they needed to teach. Now it's time to replace the memory of pain with the experience of wisdom. The moment you forgive, you are not saying, I lost. You are saying, I choose peace over chaos. That choice is victory. That choice is freedom. On this Friday, allow forgiveness to flow through you like water washing away old stains. You will feel lighter. You will feel space where there was once tension. You will feel that your heart no longer needs to defend itself, because forgiveness dissolves the need for defense. It transforms pain into understanding, anger into clarity, wounds into wisdom. 10th October will be the moment where you realize that you cannot be healed and hateful at the same time. You must choose. And when you choose forgiveness, you choose life. You choose movement. You choose growth. You stop living as a reflection of your wounds and start living as a reflection of your strength. Forgiveness does not come through force. It comes through awareness. It comes when you finally see that holding on hurts more than letting go. It comes when you realize that peace is more valuable than being right. It comes when you understand that you were never meant to live with constant resistance inside your heart. So this Friday, breathe deeply. Look at everything and everyone you once blamed and silently release them. Let the memories lose their power. Let the pain fade into distance. You are not erasing the past. You are reclaiming the present. And in that moment, forgiveness will not be something you do. It will become something you are. This Friday, 10th October, will heal the heart that is willing to forgive. It will remind you that the act of letting go is the act of returning home to peace. When you forgive, you do not lose anything. You gain yourself back. You return to your own light, your own balance, your own truth. That is the healing that cannot be explained. It can only be felt. And this Friday, you will feel it. This Friday, 10th of October, will remind you that the heart always knows how to love again. No matter what has been taken, no matter what has been broken, the heart carries an unshakable wisdom. It knows how to return to love, even after storms, even after betrayal, even after nights that turned you cold inside. The heart remembers. It remembers softness. It remembers warmth. It remembers how to open again, even when fear tells you to stay closed. That is the miracle waiting for you this Friday. Healing does not mean forgetting what happened. Healing means remembering without pain. It means looking back without being pulled backward. On the 10th of October, life will give you moments that test your openness. You will feel a quiet voice asking you to trust again, to breathe again, to allow love to enter in ways you once resisted. Don't fight that voice. It's not weakness. It's the return of your truth. The heart was never meant to live guarded. It was meant to live free. This Friday is not about chasing love outside of yourself. It's about awakening love within yourself. It's about realizing that no external person, no event, no loss can ever destroy the love that already lives inside you. That love is your natural state. Pain may have covered it. Fear may have silenced it. But it never left. It only waited for the day you were ready to feel it again. 10th of October is that day. You cannot heal by closing yourself off. You cannot grow by protecting yourself from life. Healing begins when you let life touch you again. It begins when you let yourself care again. This Friday, you may feel emotions returning that you thought were gone. Trust, hope, compassion. Let them come. They are not weakness, they are renewal. The heart cannot heal in isolation. It heals through connection, through openness, through the courage to feel again. When the heart chooses love after pain, it becomes unbreakable, not because it cannot be hurt again, but because it understands that even hurt cannot destroy it. Every heartbreak has taught you something sacred. Every loss has deepened your capacity to love. 10th of October will remind you of that truth. It will show you that your softness is not your vulnerability, it's your greatest strength. Anyone can close their heart, but it takes strength to open it again after it's been broken. You have spent enough time surviving. Now, it is time to live. Surviving is about protection. Living is about participation. The world will mirror your openness. When you move with love, love moves toward you. When you walk with fear, fear finds you. This Friday will test which energy you are ready to live in. The choice will be simple: stay safe in old pain or step forward into new love. Choose the second. Choose life. Sometimes love doesn't mean holding someone. It means holding yourself gently with patience and forgiveness. It means speaking kindly to yourself, even when your past wants to speak loudly. The love you give yourself becomes the foundation for everything else. On the 10th October, let that be your focus. Nurture your own heart. Remind it that it's allowed to trust its own rhythm again. The heart doesn't need perfection, it needs presence. It needs care. It needs truth. Healing through love doesn't require grand gestures. It requires awareness. Awareness that every time you breathe deeply, you are saying yes to life. Awareness that every act of kindness, even small, reshapes the energy inside you. Awareness that forgiveness, gratitude, and compassion are all forms of love, and they heal silently, powerfully, completely. This Friday will carry that quiet energy of restoration. You may not see it, but you will feel it. There is a strength that comes only after breaking. You know now what you can endure. You know what deserves your energy and what doesn't. You've learned the value of peace. Now, use that wisdom to love without fear. Love is not about losing control. It's about trusting that no matter what happens, you will remain whole. 10th of October will remind you that your heart is not fragile, it is resilient. It can bend, but it will not break. Let love become your teacher again. Let it guide your choices. Let it soften the edges of your anger. Let it remind you that bitterness is a burden and love is freedom. When you choose love, you are not ignoring pain. You are transforming it. You are using it as the soil where compassion grows. The world changes around you when your inner world becomes gentle again. That gentleness is your power. On the 10th of October, life will place small signs in front of you, moments that test your ability to love again. Maybe someone speaks with kindness and you feel warmth you haven't felt in years. Maybe you look at a stranger and see a reflection of your own story. Maybe you wake up and simply feel thankful to still have a heart capable of feeling at all. Don't overlook those moments. They are the quiet proof that you are healing. To love again after pain is to trust the flow of life, to say, I am ready for what comes, even if it brings change. Love always brings change. It melts what is rigid, it expands what is closed. This Friday will bring that expansion. You might not understand it, but you will sense it. An openness in the chest, a calmness in the mind, a readiness in the soul. That is how the universe tells you your healing is real. The heart heals faster when you choose love, because love is not just an emotion. It is energy. It restores balance. It clears what bitterness blocked. It reconnects you to everything around you. It makes you alive again. When you walk with love, you attract peace, clarity, and grace without effort. This Friday, let your steps be softer, your words kinder, your energy lighter. Let love move through you freely. This Friday, 10th October, will be a turning point for your heart. It will not erase what happened, but it will remind you that life continues. The heart always knows how to start again. It doesn't need instructions, it just needs permission. Give it that permission. Allow yourself to feel again, to hope again, to open again. Healing through love is not a one-time act, it is a way of being. And when you live in that energy, peace becomes your natural state. Let 10 October be the day you return to love, not because everything is perfect, but because you are ready to be free, because you finally understand that love is not the opposite of pain. It is what transforms it. This Friday will heal your heart in ways you can't explain, because love doesn't need words. It only needs your willingness to begin again.